So it's been quite some time since I put a video out. As everybody knows, I was relocating from New Jersey to Virginia. It's been about 9 months since I put a video out, because in that 9 months I actually physically moved. I finished up my time at my full-time gig and moved everything on down here and just started working. And I haven't really had time to put out any sort of a video. So I figured today's a good opportunity because I brought 3 hives down with me. That's it. I had about 50 hives at some times in between 4 different yards, and I just, with the whole move and everything that was going on, I just couldn't, it just wasn't feasible to move a lot of bees down. Plus, I was able to sell 2 of the yards to the landowners, and that worked out because it generated a little bit of revenue for me to relocate and buy some stuff down here, because I'm not just keeping bees anymore. I'm moving to, row crops, and a lot of my startup costs were pretty expensive, so it was nice to have that capital and some funds to put towards all of that. You'll notice that one of my last videos, I really favor wood pellets to light the smoker. I had some burlap laying around, so I'm using that. But in the future, since there's so many pine trees all back on the property where my building is, I mean, it's free, so I guess I'll be switching over to pine needles. Like I said, I love the smoker pellets. They're great. They light, they stay lit, they last a while. Though not terribly expensive, they're still more expensive than free dried up pine needles that are pretty much everywhere up there at a later time. Oh, there's a skink in there. Hey, buddy. These little skinks, these little 3-line skinks are all up. He gone. At least it wasn't a copperhead. Okay. All right, the bottom box is good. This may just wind up being a single. Probably when I made these nukes, I probably pulled too many resources out of them. And, shame on me, I have not been in these hives. I've been in these hives once since I've been down here. So it's been like 5 or 6 weeks. And I don't know, that's pretty irresponsible, I think. You should be in your hives way more than that. But I had some, circumstances. I was just so busy with everything. I had to do some truck repairs, maintaining the tractor, and I started growing stuff. I probably shouldn't have done that. They're bringing nectar in, so that's good. I'm kind of learning in farming that you are your mechanic, you're your own electrician, your own plumber, and I was never one of those guys that was like super mechanically inclined. I wasn't a terror with tools. I could figure stuff out, and I did. But like my buddies up north, man, those dudes, you could like give them a bag of tools and some broken shit, and they just fix it. They just have that mechanical thinking mindset. I've always admired that about them, and envied it a little bit. But I'm 51 years old, and I'm not so old that I can't, change my ways. And I really don't have a choice right now. And sure enough, a couple months ago, one of my hubs went in my truck, and I never did anything with with vehicles other than, brakes and oil changes. So I said, what the heck, I'll give it a shot. I brought up some YouTube videos because, YouTube videos can pretty much teach you anything. And I got it done, man. It took me like 3 or 4 days Some really, really bad language and lots of thrown tools. I'm sure some of you can relate to that. Sometimes it's just part of the process. I got it done though, and I was proud of that accomplishment. To me, that was a major repair for somebody who's basically changed oil before. So we have a really good brood pattern here. I don't know if the camera will pick it up. Maybe I could zoom in on it when I edit the video. Here, I'll bring it up. I don't know how that'll translate, but so I got a nice tight brood pattern. So that's what I want to see. I got eggs, open larva. The goldenrod is just starting to bloom, so that may help me out quite a bit. I do see some, nope, those are just queen cups. So whenever I see queen cups on the frame, I do want to make sure that there's nothing in it. So I pull it apart, nothing in it. I could, if these were queen cells or recharged queen cells, normally you don't want to rip them out because it may be your only chance for a queen, but I've already confirmed eggs and young larvae. So even if I rip them out and they really wanted to do that, they could always select their young larvae and or eggs to re-queen. This hive ain't so bad. Like I said, it just might wind up being a single. It's got everything it needs. It's got some pollen, it's got some nectar, fresh nectar coming in. I imagine that's because, like I said, that goldenrod just started blooming. I'm not too familiar with all the stuff that blooms down here. I got some mimosa trees right around here, but I've only seen butterflies and hummingbirds on those. But I'll get to know all the local flora. All right. I'm very happy. This is fun. And there's my queen. Let me see. I mean, everybody loves to see the queen, so. There she is right there. I hope the camera's focusing on that. I'll try to figure out if I can circle her in editing. Whoops, she almost fell off. All right, let's get her back. So this hive has, and again, I didn't need to find her. But as always, when you're not looking for her, that's when you're gonna find her. When you need to find her, it's just gonna be such a pain in the neck. It always is. So let me just check out this top box. I didn't light my burlap good enough, but whatever. The bees are pretty nice today. I'll tell you what, I've been weed whacking and bush hogging out here, and these bees all, they seem okay. They haven't, I got stung once. I weed whacked a little too close, and but they seem like real gentle bees, so. Won't go nuts with the smoke. Yeah, see, this frame's not even drawn yet. Yeah, this is going to end up getting broken down into a single. That's, you know, one of the things you got to, like, not be afraid of is just, don't be afraid. You got to shrink their size down, especially now that the swarm season has kind of waned a little bit. You know, eliminate that dead space. So this hive was queenless, and now it's not. All right, so this was the queenless one. That was queenless too. It was both of these. Let me check. Like I said before, my gut's telling me that these are just going to get combined, which would that would be great, because I don't actually think I ever put a video up on how to do a newspaper combine. So that would be an opportunity to show you guys how I do a newspaper combine. It's actually really easy. It'll probably be one of the quickest videos. You know, as long-winded as I am, it'll still be like a really quick video. That's how easy newspaper combines are. All right, that's pretty strong. So I kind of like what I see. I mean, if this was queenless for that long, then it would have, the population would have reflected that. And I see a lot of workers. I got a bunch of pollen, bunch of open nectar. You know, I mean, I did boost this hive with a frame of capped brood, but that was a while ago, and you know, there's enough bees in here where I have a feeling we're going to see some queen activity. I actually see a queen. Oh, and it looks to me like she's mated. I don't know. People say you can't tell a mated queen from a... I've heard people say you can't, and I don't know. I feel like I can. They just have like this different swagger to them, and they're plump, and they're more long. There she is right there. I apologize if this is all blurry. I'm just taking a shot, hoping that the camera will translate that properly. So I see a queen. That is awesome. I'm happy with that. Now let's see how well she's been laying. That would be... And she's doing, yeah, she's doing good. At first glance, I like that. So I got a fairly decent brood pattern here. We got some bullet holes. We got a perforated cap right there. That's probably just hygienic behavior. I've seen better frames. I've seen worse too. This is pretty spotty, but I think, you know, later on in the season, you're not going to get those perfectly solid wood to wood capped brood, because she's going to start backfilling, and as, you know, brood hatches out, she'll fill, and then she might move on to another frame, and then more and that's how you get kind of like that spotty pattern. I mean, if you open up a hive and every frame is always spotty, then that's probably, you know, some concern. But the one side was pretty tight brood. This is pretty tight brood. So I'm happy with the brood pattern. They're just, I'm not gonna be able to do any splits. I'll tell you that right now, because I mean, if I have a hunch that I have to combine these two nukes, I mean, to split is not even an option, and shrinking that down to a single, so we know that's not going to be a split. So I'm just gonna have to baby these through winter. Okay. I'm not thrilled with the amount of open nectar or lack thereof. They're not starving out. They have, some frames have some open nectar. This frame has some weight to it, but I certainly do have to keep an eye on that. I may actually, I might start feeding the hell out of these hives. And I mean, honestly, I probably should have been. Oh, I hate when that happens. Frames sometimes stick to the tops of these. Okay. So I've capped honey. I'm not liking the population here. I got a frame of pollen and open nectar. I have not seen any brood yet. So right off the bat, that's not, oh, okay. I got these hives confused. This is the one that was queenless. And let me tell you, you can tell a virgin. That's a virgin queen. But this hive has been just so, it's been so long. That should have been mated by now. She's not. So yeah, this hive is going to get combined. Now, I don't want to combine a hive with a virgin because she could get a hold of that queen in the other hive when I do the combine, and it could kill her. People will argue this all day long, but mated queens, two mated queens will not fight. There's no duel when you combine two mated queen-right hives. What will happen is you put the newspaper in, the two different pheromones will eventually blend with each other, and eventually the hives will become one and choose which queen they want, which one they don't want. There's some capped brood in here, but that's the frame I donated. Yeah, I definitely got these confused. Well, that stinks. So I know some people are probably saying, oh, why not just take a frame of eggs from the other one and toss it in there and let them remake it? But you know, it's end of July already, and there's just not, it's just pushing too hard. Sometimes you're just better off cutting your losses, because then if I take anything out of that hive, now I'm setting that hive back, which is already kind of behind. So this is going to get combined. Again, not going to do it now, but probably tomorrow I'll just grab some newspaper and I'll come down here and combine. I'll throw together a video. I'll get that virgin queen out of there. See what I wasn't looking for now? And I found her, and watch tomorrow I'll have to find her and I won't. So the video cut off at the end there. So I was wrapping up anyway, so I'll do a recap here. The double deep is going to get broken down into a single, and the two nukes are going to get combined. That one had the virgin, she's not going to get mated, that's just a fail. So I'll be combining those two. So I'll go into winter with one single and one nuke. Hopefully between now, which is the end of July, till winter, I can get them built up really, really strong. It is actually just dawned on me that I'm gonna have to buy bees next year. You know, I had a lot going on. I moved from Jersey to here, and then I went back and picked up some hives. I had so much going on in that week between doctor's appointments and visiting family that, you know, when I went to the bee yard to get those hives, I probably selected in haste a little bit, which I hate doing that. So I didn't pick the best hives, and it wasn't the best plan moving forward. So I have to accept and admit my failure on that and my mistake with that. I'm still going to keep trying to save these hives, but it's going to cost me more money in honey production than it would if I just went and, you know, supported some local beekeeper and bought some, you know, a few nukes. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm okay with it. So thanks for watching, and thanks for being patient. I know it was a really long time since I put a video out. There will be more to follow, and I'll catch you next time. Thank you.